What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome to my analysis of the new Tellius banner. So we've got Lucia as the sword infantry unit, and she's definitely one of the star of the banner because she is extremely unique and also very good. So we've got Queen's Blade on her, which gives her +3 attack, and she gets +5 to all of her stats in the combat and deals true damage based on 20% of her speed. She also gets 30% damage reduction, and then she's able to do something which we haven't really seen before. So both herself and the foe gets null follow-up, null counter disrupt, hardy bearing, and the feud effect. And she also disables the effects for both herself and the opponent, the in-combat specials, the AoE specials, and defensive terrain effects, and also the ally support effect. So she gives herself and the foe a bunch of effects and also disables a bunch of effects. So this is definitely going to be making her pretty annoying to kill. And because she does not let the foe use a special, she also herself does not use the special. So this is the ultimate 1v1 unit, and she's definitely going to be useful in Summoner Duels, like in Summoner Duels S for example. And she's also going to be useful in Aether Raids offense for tanking. So Lucia is overall a pretty solid unit. Now even though she can only run a damaging special, or rather trigger an in-combat special, she's still going to be able to make use of Vital Astra if you pre-charge it. This is that she's not going to be triggering that in the combat, but if Vital Astra is pre-charged, then she's going to be getting the damage reduction. And you can also run her with Godlike Reflexes. So with Godlike Reflexes, you're going to be able to get the true damage based on her speed. Again, this is that the special is not going to be triggering. So those specials can be used, but they are going to be very expensive. She could also be used with Gale Force, so that works out as her special. So yeah, very unique unit who just does not allow any kind of specials in the combat, and also disables a bunch of effects like defensive tiles for example. So that is really unique, and she is definitely going to be a pretty solid unit. She also gets Harsh Command Plus, Life and Death 4, and Repel 4. So Repel 4 is basically the tier 4 version that we have seen on Close Call 4. But it's just that the movement effect is different here. I still like the hit and run effect of Close Call a lot more because it allows you to retreat. So now the damage reduction goes up to 50%, which is based on your speed, and it also has a mini phantom speed built into it. So it is pretty similar functionally to Close Call 4, which we have seen before, and she also has Even Tempest. So Lucia is definitely going to be a pretty fast unit, and she is definitely a pretty solid unit because her damage reduction cannot be pierced that easily because she doesn't really allow the triggering of Deadeye and Lethality. So if you have damage reduction piercing in your skills or in your preferred weapon, then you're going to be able to do that. But if it depends on a special, then her damage reduction is not really going to get pierced. So she could be annoying to kill, and she's definitely going to be a pretty solid unit. Then moving on, we have Geoffrey as the Lance Cavalier. So Geoffrey is going to be a 5-star unit, and he is going to be having his preferred weapon, Queen's Lance, which does give him the Neon Trace effect if he has got any kind of bonus active on him. So this could be a visible buff or any kind of bonus status. So that is going to be triggering the Neon Trace effect in his weapon. And he's also able to get -1 special cooldown with this weapon. So Luna becomes a 2 cooldown special, and he's able to get in combat attack, speed, defense, and resistance depending on 5 plus whatever the highest bonus is on him and his support partners. So it calculates each stat independently. So he's basically going to be able to get, at the very least, +5 to all of his stats, and then more stats depending on the highest visible buff. And he's also going to be able to get 40% damage reduction on foe's first attack. And if bonus is active, then he also has the follow-up negation against the opponent. So he is going to be a rather fast unit, it seems like, because he does come with Flow Force 3. So this is really good to see in the normal summoning pool. So this is a flow skill which does give you partial null follow-up in the player phase, and it also neutralizes any kind of debuffs to your attack and speed. So I think he's going to be a faster Lance Cavalier who's going to be a stat ball and is going to be able to get the follow-up negation and also the Neon Trace effect in his weapon. So his slot B is open to be run with a flow skill, and he is going to be also able to get that damage reduction against foe's first attack. So that is going to be Geoffrey, definitely a pretty decent unit, especially if you like him a lot. So he's going to be able to function with his weapon. And then we move on to the 4-star focus unit of this banner, and also the D mode of this banner. So it is going to be Bastian, and he is a green mage infantry unit, and he's definitely going to be waiting for an arcane green tome, because his green tome, while it's decent enough, still ultimately the end goal is going to be an arcane weapon. So he has got Grandier Plus, which is basically a green variant of Spider Plush Plus, which we did see on Halloween Sophia. So this gives +5 to the unit during the combat and inflicts -5 attack on foe in the combat. It also has the guard effect on the foe in the combat, so the guard effect definitely makes it a pretty nice effect so that defensive mages can use this and pretty much have the consistent guard effect without running these stance 4 skills. And he does have Iceberg, Sabotage Resistance, and Attack Ploy. So he is definitely going to be probably a slow green infantry mage, I think, who's just going to be having high resistance to make use of Sabotage Resistance and Attack Ploy. So an arcane weapon giving him maybe guaranteed follow-up attack would be really nice. But till then, this is going to be a decent green tome for the defensive mages who want to get the guard effect and basically be bulky with the -5 attack debuff on the opponent. And then we've got the star of this banner, Ascended Elincia. So she is a staff flyer, and she is definitely going to be bringing the damaging special to the table and also the tier 4 version of Dazzling Staff. So here is Ascended Elincia. Her art is absolutely majestic. I really like it so much. So she has got her weapon Crimean Scepter, which does have Wrathful Staff built in, and it also has -1 special cooldown. And the special cooldown cannot be reduced below 1, so you can not only have an instant bomb specials basically. And at start of turn, if she's within 2 spaces of an ally, then she can give herself and the allies within 2 spaces +6 attack and speed buff, and also the player phase follow-up effect. So we have seen this player phase follow-up status effect on Naga before, on Legendary Lucina, which are Future Vision 2. So it is seen before, but this is definitely a pretty nice supportive status effect, and she can also buff up the attack and speed of the allies and herself, so that is also pretty good for the support. And then she can get +6 attack and speed in the combat, and also gets even more attack and speed depending on the highest respective attack and speed buff on herself or the allies within 2 spaces multiplied by 1.5. So this is pretty easy to get even more offenses on her because she already buffs up the attack and speed of herself and the allies within 2 spaces. So the weapon does have good synergy with itself. And then she has got Rescue Plus and a new damaging special for the healers, which is actually going to be better than Holy Pressure for a lot of the healers, which do not have -1 special cooldown. And that's pretty much all of them except for Ascended Elincia and Duo Elise. So this is a 2 cooldown special, which is a lot better for the healers to trigger, especially if you just run Time Pulse. And because of being a 2 cooldown special, it's going to be a lot more practically useful than Holy Pressure, which is a 3 cooldown special. So Light's Restraint is a damaging special for the healers, and when the assist is used, the special cooldown count does not go down. When the special trigger, it also boosts the damage by 25% of foes' resistance, so it's not really as much as Holy Pressure, obviously because it's a higher cooldown special, but still decent damage output. And then it does have the Melancholy effect built into it, so this is definitely a pretty nice special for healers. And this is going to be a little bit less awkward for many of the healers, especially the older ones, because the 2 cooldown is going to be making it a lot easier to trigger, and you can also pre-charge it a lot easily. And then she's got Attack Speed Push 4 and Dazzling Shift. So Dazzling Shift is basically the tier 4 version of Dazzling Staff, and this allows the unit to basically teleport to an ally within 2 spaces. So it's like a self-order teleportation, which is definitely pretty nice for the mobility and its utility. And it also inflicts -4 speed debuff on the foe during the combat, and the foe cannot counterattack, so it is basically Dazzling Staff 4. I also really like this effect. So Poetic Justice basically gives you true damage, while Dazzling Shift gives you the teleportation effect, which is pretty nice for the utility. And then she's got Speed Resistance Hold as her Slotsy skill. So overall, Elincia is definitely going to be a pretty nice healer with this special, and also with her weapon giving her a lot of offenses. So she's definitely going to be really offensive as a healer and as a staff flyer. And that is going to be our new banner, which does have the Tellius unit. So I'm really glad we finally got the Tellius banner. And we do have a new OC here, which we can see. She is a blue beast, it seems. And we do have our Grandeur Battle unit in Ludveck. So he is a free-to-play axe armor, and he's not really going to be having a preferred weapon, as you can see from his sprite. It's pretty similar to that of Defier's Lance of Cervantes. So he's just going to be having Defier's Axe Plus, and he's going to be having the same BST as Cervantes. So that is going to be our Grandeur Battle unit, and that is overall the banner. Definitely a banner if you're a big, Tellius fan or Radiant Dawn fan, then this is going to be the banner where you can try and summon on, Elincia and Lucia are definitely the star of this banner for sure, and Lucia being pretty unique with how she can function and disable so many skills and effects and not really allow any kind of specials. So let me know what you think about this banner in the comment section down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Helps me tremendously, and if you really enjoyed, you could always support me directly by using super thanks or by becoming a YouTube member. And for more FEH videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as your special against Lucia. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.